Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Musical Moments with the HBCU Collective. And today I have with me Dr. Isrea Butler. He is the music department head at Valdosta State University in Georgia, and he is here today to talk about his experience with HBCUs. No, he didn't graduate from an HBCU, but he has had the opportunity to work at 3 HBCUs. Dr. Butler, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I am doing great, man. You're doing a lot of great things. And I just want you to talk to everybody about your experiences at HBCUs real quick, the 3 institutions you work with, and everything that has impacted you by that experience at those HBCUs.
I'd be happy to. My first teaching job full-time was as the visiting assistant professor of trombone at Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi. I got that wonderful opportunity because one of my mentors, Dr. Robert Blaine, became the associate dean. So he needed someone to fill in as trombone professor. While I was there, I got to work with Dr. O'Neill Sanford. I got to work with Lowell Hollinger, all the great faculty there. It was a really great experience. And it's great to see some of my first students that I worked with there are now getting their doctorates. One of them is an assistant band director at Texas Southern. So it's a great bunch of students. A lot of them went on to do a lot of great things. Yeah. In between, I was in a non-HBCU in North Dakota, but then I came back and I was the director of band and brass professor at the University of Maryland, Eastern Shore in Princess Anne, Maryland. And I was there for 3 years. Much smaller school, didn't have a football team. And so there wasn't a marching band, but they did have a pep band. Really strong jazz program and a lot of great community members helped fill out the ensembles. After that, I moved to Durham to be the department chair at North Carolina Central.
That's where I met you while you were at North Carolina Central, and we met at the Midwest Clinic during that time, man, and you were doing great things, especially with all things music at North Carolina Central. And that's had to be a great experience for you.
Oh, wonderful. I mean, the faculty is, world-class there. We had Branford Marcellus and Joey Calderazzo as artists in residence. We took the band to Gin in Dallas and also to New York City for the first annual Jack Rudin jazz competition. And they were the only HBCU that was invited.
Speaking of jazz, I know that's one of the things that you're a big instrumentalist in the jazz idiom, and I know you recently just joined forces with the Count Basie Orchestra, and I know you're playing trombone for them as well as Gateways Brass, and you are a Bach artist. So I would love to hear about your experiences playing jazz and playing in those ensembles, as well as your success with our products being a Bach brass artist.
So I've been subbing with the Count Basie Orchestra since about 2007, I think. And was fortunate that since I double and played bass trombone and tenor trombone, I actually ended up playing all 4 chairs at some point. But I was recently appointed lead trombone with the Count Basie Orchestra, which was a dream of mine because I grew up in Central Florida and actually saw them play in my hometown, Sanford, when I was in high school. And I remember that, and those wasn't a lot of experiences like that, living there, but those few experiences kind of inspired me. So another one was seeing the Canadian Brass. I think we went to Jacksonville or somewhere to see them. I remember talking to them right before they went on to play. I think we got there late, and they always walk in from the back, and we got a chance to talk to them. And I think Gene Watts even let me try out his horn.
Oh man!
but you wouldn't do that now with
No,
COVID.
not at all. Speaking of horns, I mean, how you like playing on that Bach horn, and which horn do you play on?
So I play quite a few different trombones, playing both jazz and classical. And so in the basic orchestra, I play a new Bach 16M LT. So that's the Bill Watrous model. And for orchestra, I have a Bach 42 B, and I also have the new Conn vintage 88H. You might have seen the product video that we did.
Oh yeah, I saw that video, man. Y'all gotta go to the Bach page and check that video out with Dr. Butler on there, man. You got quite an arsenal, man. So you got the Bach brass stuff, got the Conn. You're definitely a Conn-Selmer artist. We appreciate you definitely playing on our instruments as well as telling the world how great they are. What would you tell current HBCU students and their directors about how to persevere during these times and the importance of the experience that they're gathering right now at their HBCU?
It's a time for a lot of personal growth. If we take away some of the distractions, I think we could be very productive. Social media is a big distraction. Games are a big distraction. You know, when I grew up, we didn't have any of that. You know, we were just, you know, they were just coming out with internet, you know, and it was the AOL, and but you know, we didn't have that. We didn't have the access. So I mean, access is great because you can access so many great recordings. I talk to students, and they don't know who the heroes, their potential heroes, could be on their instrument. They do know, you know, who the section leader is and their rival band and all this stuff. And I would hear them listening to this stuff. I'm like, listen to some music. You know, you have your phone there, listening to people, you know, blasting each other out in the stands. Listen to some real music. Find out who the great artists are, and let that be part of, like you said, arsenal. You know, as well, your musical arsenal. There's so much information out there that could be used positively. And I know a lot of the directors are pushing their students to do that. But finding their mentors and their heroes is really important. And I think it's a great time to do that. This past year, a lot of free information has been given. These master classes you normally would have to pay for or be a student at that particular school to see. This stuff has been for free, you know, on the internet, and it's still out there, so you can go back and reflect and really take advantage of those things. I know the brass collective, Gateways Brass Collective, has been busy. We learned how to record during the pandemic, and because everybody lives different places across the country, we weren't able to get together, so we recorded and mixed videos and audio and learned how to do all that stuff while we were, you know, locked down. So I think the students can use the things they learned, because a lot of them had to do assignments like that, and to put that on their website and to boost their career and start, you know, being proactive and being entrepreneurs.
I will say this, folks, you have heard it first from Dr. Isrea Butler. He says this is a time for personal growth. This is a time to tap in to technology in a positive way and do some listening and do some learning with technology in a positive way. Dr. Butler, thank you so much for coming on Musical Moments with the HBCU Collective. And I look forward to seeing you later on this year at the HBCU National Band Directors Consortium as you continue to do work with HBCUs. Thank you so much, Dr. Butler.
My pleasure. Have a great one.
See y'all next week.